A few months ago, I saw that Shy Guy Mask posted a filled-out meme template for About You video games. Having seen others do this before, coupled with subsequent underlying desire to try it out for myself, I set out to try and find the template. Quickly enough, I succeeded. Not much more time passed before I made my own version of the meme and shared it to numerous Discord servers. Those who saw it received it positively. Since then, I've pondered making a video going into more detail about it. Today, I'll be acting on that idea. Based on my picks for each category, the type of games I selected, information and experiences around those games, and whatever else I deem necessary, I hope to answer one primary question. What do video games say about me? To organize this efficiently, I've assigned a category to each of the 3 rows. The first one asks for my favorites, as well as the best in specified categories. Favorite game of all time, Super Mario 64. Favorite series, Plants vs. Zombies. Best soundtrack, Rayman. Chances are, some of it is playing in the background at this instant. It's that beautiful. Favorite protagonist, Rayman 2, The Great Escape. Favorite villain, Admiral Razorbeard from, again, Rayman 2, The Great Escape. It hasn't even been a full year since I first played that game, so the fact that it's on my rendition of this meme twice back to back says a lot about the game. Best story, Conker's Bad Fur Day. The first thing you might have noticed is how all but one of these was released in the early 2000s or before. In fact, the same ones that meet that criteria are also older than me. This is only a small portion of a trend suggesting I tend to prefer older games. However, the one outlier, Plants vs. Zombies, indicates retro is not the full extent of my taste. The series includes the original game from 2009, as well as Garden Warfare 1 from 2014 and Garden Warfare 2 from 2016. Both the original game and Garden Warfare 2 remain within my top 10 all-time favorite games to this day. Additionally, just because a game is older doesn't mean I automatically like it. That will become apparent later in this video. Retro games look different from newer games, such that the older the game, the more pixelated it looks. If it's a 3D game, the models are more noticeably made out of triangles. In short, they're not the most realistic. I find this more charming, and a closer resemblance to art styles which deviate from the norm. Super Mario 64, for example, is clearly pixelated, has obvious triangles in its 3D models, but has a vibrant, colorful, and intriguing space to work with. It feels like a game instead of a real-life simulation. As far as Rayman 2, The Great Escape, having the best protagonist and villain, it's largely how the characters are portrayed in terms of unique personality. Rayman is simply a cool being throughout the game, packing a straight-to-the-point attitude. He is unique in lacking arms, legs, and a neck, while still having hands and feet.
Come on, who's the king?
It's me! 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 Me!
Stop! I absolutely must see Lee.
Who dares disturb me?
Your poor bones. He has made it to the swamp.
What? You incompetent imbecile! Ugh. Send the warship and destroy him! He mustn't get his grubby hands on the 4 masks.
I selected Conker's Bad Fur Day for Best Story because of how bizarre the story progression is. Like, who can possibly say they met Death himself, fended off zombies, went to war, fought a publicly indecent furnace, robbed a bank, became king, and more, all in the same day? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say nobody in this video's target audience. It's on a different level, albeit off the chart naughty in places.
What's this button do?
Warning. Warning. Self-destruct in 1 second.
Oh, you stupid
The second row asks for a few more favorites, but also personal desires and preferences, unlike those of other gamers. Have not played, but want to. Super Mario RPG. To clarify, I'm referring more to the Super Nintendo version than the Nintendo Switch remaster here. But if it never gets put on Nintendo Switch Online, and the remaster is all I ever play, then I guess it will have to do. I love Everyone Hates Tetris Worlds. The reviewers gave this game mediocre at best ratings, mainly because you can slide pieces around once they've hit a floor. That's such a minuscule thing to bash the whole game for. And okay, say what you will about my video where I threw a hissy fit over the way Nintendo 64 games were arranged on Nintendo Switch Online. But that video was meant to fool around, not to serve a real purpose. These critiques of Tetris Worlds, on the other hand, were meant to be professional and earn people paychecks. Two different circumstances there, but I love Tetris Worlds for how beautiful it looks and sounds, and how soothing it is to play. I hate Everyone Loves Pokemon Snap 64. I'm not being funny. Riding around on an automatic go-kart merely to take pictures more specific than Garden Warfare 1 challenges barely even qualifies as a video game in my book. Actual photography is more fun. So far, this is the only N64 title I truly dislike. Best Art Style, Rayman. Here he is again. I said it best in my video where I described 50 great games in one sentence. Rayman, the most gorgeous looking and sounding game that will ever exist again. Favorite ending, Yoshi's story. This one might be a bit of a stretch based on the criteria of my decision, but the ending song is one of my favorites in all of gaming, and it's quite the happy one. Favorite boss fight, Rystar. This was the hardest choice out of them all. Usually, I'm just focused on trying to take the boss down to progress through the game. But if any game stands out to me for odd charm in boss fights, it'd have to be this one. I can't even pick just one from this game. They're all unique, neatly designed, and indicative of the atmosphere of the Sega Genesis. I likely conveyed lots of information about myself in these game-by-game explanations. Since they were so numerous, I'll leave you, the viewer, to interpret for yourself. Feel free to leave your thoughts down in the comments. But one more thing I'd like to highlight is the beauty in simplicity. I believe in this idea quite heavily. However, Pokemon Snap 64 is an example of taking simplicity a bit too far. Tetris Worlds, on the other hand, gets it just right, so it makes for, as previously stated, a soothing experience. With only one row left to cover, and you hopefully still watching, I wanted to extend my gratitude for your visit. If you like the more detailed take on this meme, feel free to press the thumbs up button below this video. If you'd like to see more of these commentary videos, seeing as I plan to make them somewhat regularly, you also have the option of clicking the subscribe button if you have not already done so. If you really want to, you're also free to share this video with others. If you want to fill the template out for yourself, I'll link it in the description. With that out of the way, on to the third category. This row asks for a wide array of things, so I'm not even gonna try to interpret it with any other single term. Childhood game. Ranch Rush. One important thing to note is the number of games I could have put here is in triple digits. This includes games in half of the other previous criteria. I chose Ranch Rush because it is memorable for me, it is gorgeous, and literally nobody else will talk about it if I don't. It's a shame how overlooked it is, considering it's such a nice game, especially by time management game standards. Relaxing game. Minecraft. Had I not made it so obvious earlier, Tetris Worlds probably would have also gone in here. But since I already sent that horse off to the races, I put Minecraft in here instead. Stressful game. Gran Turismo. Don't get me wrong, I like it, but I struggle with racing games. I want to play them right, and a lot of times I end up getting frustrated quick. And that's my Gran Turismo experience in a nutshell. Game I always come back to. Insaniquarium. Once again, this was just a pick from upfront memory. It's interchangeable with quite a few others, especially PopCap games from before 2011, and games on Big Fish in the early 2010s. Guilty pleasure. Minecraft. Mainly because I have over 10,000 hours on this game, no exaggeration, and still like to pretend I haven't played it enough. I think it meets the required ridiculousness for it to go here. And finally, tons of hours played, Wii Sports. I will confess, I lowballed this one a little bit. The only free games I know for certain I have more than 1,000 hours on are Minecraft, Plants vs. Zombies, and Garden Warfare 2. However, I could not possibly leave Wii Sports out of this type of thing, and I did play it to the moon in my youth. So that's how I closed this meme off. Given the wide variety of criteria in this category, it might be tough or it might be easy to decipher what the choices say about a person. It stands to reason what this really boils down to is how everyone has their own tastes. That's the rationale behind the meme in the first place. To answer the main question, what do video games say about me? They say a long list of things about me. It ranges from my preferences to my desires. Some parts even describe my actual personality. But most of all, I likely don't even realize everything about myself. Others pick up on things I miss, seeing as this is seemingly the way of nature. I don't directly speak of myself very often in my videos, so this seemed like a fun way to switch a thing around and be a little more open. I hope I provided satisfactory explanations, and it would be exceptional if I inspired somebody to play one of the games I picked for the very first time. If you do have questions, you're free to ask in the comments. I generally read every single one, so that's the best way of going about it. See you next time. Thanks for watching this video. On your way out, click the card on the right to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click the card on the left to watch my latest video or short. Good day to y'all.